came from a religious background. My parents are Christian, but that Christian upbringing, whatever faith you might say that I had at that time, that didn't survive leaving my parents' authority and going away to university. It was sincere doubts, but also slightly less sincere desires, and the two played off each other. And the New Atheism, the Richard Dawkins books, were perfect for that, because they played up to both, showing that atheism looked more attractive, but also that it was more intellectually credible. So they were very persuasive. What stuck with me the most from Richard Dawkins was that he defined faith as being believing something without evidence, or in the face of evidence. And he would always be saying, you need to base your beliefs on things that have good evidence, good reason for them. And so, of course, I completely agreed with that. Looking through YouTube, that was when I stumbled across William Lane Craig and his debates and his talks. That was very different. Something struck me about that as being very unusual, because here was a Christian academic who was actually talking very precisely, very logical, and making his case from the ground up, appealing to the very reason and evidence that Dawkins was telling me I had to take seriously and look for. I ended up needing to take a look at myself and actually realize, there actually is good evidence for Christianity. So why haven't you become one yet? I was trying to hold out in living a certain way. I was running away from it, and that was silly, frankly. It was silly. It was very silly to keep running away. It's not about following a load of, religious rules or anything like that. It's actually about just coming back to the relationship with God that we were supposed to have, in the way that a child who's run away from home can be reconciled to their parents, for example. So really, that was the realization. Just come home to it. Stop running away. It's silly, and you've no good reason to run away, and you've every good reason to come back. Reasonable faith is incredibly helpful and extremely important, because when students do go to university, they will be confronted, in just the way that I was, with all sorts of objections and hostilities to Christianity, and a secular culture which really can actually look very attractive if you're not firmly rooted in your faith and actually know why it's worth believing in the first place, and being clear about what it is and why there are good reasons for it. I would strongly encourage people to support reasonable faith. It's at the forefront of defending Christianity here in the 21st century. And it's doing incredibly good work. For me, it completely revolutionized my thinking. It made all sorts of light bulbs go on in my head. It revived my thinking, and it revived my faith. And it's no coincidence that those two things go together.